Oh, I don't need it. I had my fish. It was here. You just have to take your shoes off again. So we'll do that. That'll clear the room. That'll clear the room.
You know, in Saudi Arabia, they do it all the time. They're mad at each other. They think they're
Yes,
shoes
you
off.
They dug in the worst quad, you can do that too. Yeah. Here.
If you're George Bush and you hit a baseball, you can catch them. Those shoes.
Okay, we'll start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Dragging my heels. Battery. Got you. Shut the hell up. I'm just on here. The order, we are a couple minutes early, but we're not gonna do anything other than take the roll call and welcome Evelyn and anybody else that is on the Zoom meeting. During the course of the meeting, the public may be heard before a vote is cast by the board. The president will acknowledge the public once a motion has been made and discussed with the board for your input. The president will recognize speakers who raise their hand, and that also holds true for the Zoom meeting participants. Once recognized, the speaker should move to the side of the table, and if you're on Zoom, center screen. And please identify yourself by your name and spell your last name. You'll be allowed up to 2 minutes, and each speaker has one opportunity to speak on the agenda item that's being discussed. Once the public comment period is over, there will be no additional comments unless specifically requested by the president or presiding officer at the meeting. So, Jen, if you would take roll call, please.
Greg,
Here.
Pam, here, Jeff,
Here.
Ming,
Here.
Here, Frank,
Here.
yeah.
Here. Okay. I'm going to attempt tonight to cover the agenda by 8 p.m. We've been running late and really it should not have to be. So I'm going to be holding everybody to the topic that's being discussed. And we'll move all items that did not get through tonight to our October agenda. So is there any public comment on any non-agenda items? Public comment on any non-agenda? Seeing none, move on. Approval of minutes for October or August 2024. We so move. Do I have a second? Second by Greg. Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor of approval of the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes will be approved. Consent agenda. Does anyone wish to segregate any of those items out or have any?
I would like to, oh, shoot. I want to segregate
segregate out the statement, the balance, the budget statement that includes the gross income fund? And what is in that? And also I'd like to segregate out the budget statement that shows how much we've spent year to date.
You have page numbers on those?
Unfortunately, I don't. I'm sorry.
25. Excuse me. I had a pen here. Cheat. You wanted the balance sheet? Ben?
Right. And the one that lists, what our income, what's in the gross income fund and what's in, SIF.
You have to be a little bit more.
I know,
You have the page number on that?
unfortunately, it says,
Maybe page 13, 14, 15.
unfortunately, I didn't write it down. I did say the notes. I apologize.
Is it
But
the
I've got,
cycle?
Are you pulling it? Do you have it, the packet pulled up on your computer?
no, I've got my notes pulled up. The packet's huge. I just have questions. So, I mean, and I've got all the content, so,
Okay, go ahead.
okay, so,
Don't we need a motion to have a discussion?
You move to segregate. So.
Energy board
No,
member.
we gotta segregate and then we vote on everything and then come back to
Yeah.
that. Yeah, how could we have a discussion without? Once you get and you pull them out.
Yeah.
So.
The segregation is for discussion and the rest of them will remain on there.
So what do we segregate? Yeah, but she hasn't decided that.
Supposedly the balance sheet and the budget statement.
And the prepaid bills, and I apologize. So I have a question. Susie mentioned that the Wex account was fraud. There was some fraud on the Wex account. So can we just have an explanation of what that was and how that happened and how we resolved it?
On which account again?
The Wex, the gas.
The
gas part.
gasoline, and it was, yeah, that's straight enough.
So Susie was going through the invoice, she noticed a couple of odd payments and an odd name that, so she contacted Wex. Somehow or another, an individual got added to our account out of Louisiana. And unfortunately, it's a long process to go through, so. Right now, she went through to try and pay what we owed, and it shows that we have a zero balance. So it's kind of under an investigative, and that whole account is frozen,
Okay,
so none of our cards work at the moment. And that takes up to 90 days,
so what do you do in the interim?
using the MasterCards.
And so can you use it at the same spot or?
Yeah, the Wex is good at any of the
Okay,
gas stations, so
okay,
we just go in and prepay with the. Or pay with the MasterCard. And then we document it as fuel and gas, and it just goes into that account, so.
okay. It's helpful to know. Do we have any idea how somebody from Louisiana gets that?
She's not been given an answer yet. This is
Okay.
ongoing. Susie's been dealing with it for about the last week,
Okay,
and like everything else, it's difficult to get a hold of people. You transfer from department to department. But
Further
it's,
questions?
so on the prepaid bills, it shows an amount to Western Security or to Western Municipal for $330,000. And at the August meeting, we approved $300,501.26. So first of all, did we pay Western Municipal the 330? And is
No,
that,
Bo went, they could not come together on that amount.
okay,
Bo reached a consensus with them, and that is what we paid. That's the amount that you're seeing there.
okay, so we paid it without board authority?
No, it was approved by the board at the last board meeting.
Okay, I missed that in the agenda. And then I noticed that we now,
While we're on this, where in the paper doesn't show Western Municipal being paid last.
it wasn't last month, it was this month, so you won't see the pay
It's
itself.
not in this packet at all because this is August bills payable, not September.
Correct.
We seen a September 5th email from Susie saying that it was not paid. So how are we discussing Western? I mean, it's not paid.
Okay, so, and I noticed there's a charge for printing the postcards at Econoprint for the, and that seems to be new. So how, because we haven't printed them at Econoprint in the past that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
We
That's-
have,
Always.
That's the only place we get them from.
okay, so I was thinking that they were originally printed here.
So we print them, but they prepare them. So they're blank, but they have like our logo and
The card stock is printed by Econo.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I just hadn't caught that before. Okay, so those are my questions on that. On the gross income fund, we still have almost 1.8 million in First Interstate earning nothing. And we have 1.5 in STIP that earned up $6,606 at the August meeting. We talked about getting money into STIP so that we were earning money rather than leaving it sitting earning nothing. To leave 1.7 million at First Interstate earning nothing, it's not federally protected. It's just a huge. It's poor money management.
Right now, there's not 1.7 because we had the $800,000 city water bill that finally went through. So
So we have a million, so we have 900,000. It's just unacceptable to leave that money sitting there not earning interest.
Main comment?
Yeah, the reason we had that is we were waiting for the bill from the city. So we were waiting for that bill, that's why it was there. We cannot take that and put it into another fund without making sure that we're gonna pay the city.
Sure we can. You can transfer that money and have it back in your account within 48 hours.
We did pay the 851,000 this week. I had a more detail on our investment and the returns and what we need to do with the CDs that are coming due in October and November. I have a more detailed thing.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I thought we'd agreed in August that we were gonna transfer that money to STIP. Since we could get it back in 2 days and we would earn money on it, and we're just letting it sit, and to wait $6,000 a month is ridiculous. And the other thing that I brought up last month was in your statement, the capital improvement fund, which is a capital asset, and so the decision was, we'll talk to the accountant and figure out if we can call it capital assets. That's what the account calls it in the audit, is capital assets. I would just prefer that we name it correctly rather than fund, but I'll leave it at that.
I don't see anything on our minutes, as far as asking that be transferred or anything.
I asked for it, we discussed it, whether it's not in the minutes, I did.
Pam also asked about the STIP balances from the July statements because they were different.
Well, Doug, I did bring it up. We discussed it and we discussed it for this very reason, that we're throwing money away for no reason.
Well, I would have swore last month we decided that was up to day-to-day management of how they were gonna control those funds, not up to the board. So here we go again, now we're gonna have the board arguing on day-to-day stuff, or is it day-to-day?
Oh, can you answer that? Non-biased. What is it, 1.9 million that's in there?
It was 1.9 million, apparently it's 900,000 now.
900,000. Jeff, you have a comment?
I think we ought to take this up during the manager's report. Discuss it then.
Well, no, so. This stuff.
So basically, we did not segregate anything out of the consent agenda. You just had.
I just had questions, yeah.
Okay. So, Tom,
I have a question on our balance statement, page 16, 17, 18, 19, and page 20. On page 17, we show our liabilities. And we show long-term liabilities, which we all know we have. But nowhere do I find a liability for Western Municipal. When we pay that, the money's gonna come down, we're no longer gonna have liabilities and equity total of 24 million, it's gonna go down 300,000. Shouldn't that be in here? The board authorized payment last month to be made or to be negotiated. So somewhere this has got to show up. I know it's not in the budget, but it's still gonna affect our bottom line of our net worth when we pay.
What, could I answer?
Go ahead, Bud.
Well, the bill, before it's paid, is accounts payable. It's posted and payable. And, once, of course, when it's paid, the cash is reduced by the same amount. So on our books, their bill is included and you get a review on that from Susan every other week. And it shows, I asked her to highlight it in yellow so you guys don't forget that that bill has not been settled. But it was in September and we negotiated. But standard accounting practices, debits and credits. And in August, it would be an accounts payable item.
Yeah, I'm showing 201,844.17 for accounts payable.
Yeah, I think. I know the Western bill is 300,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was
it
that-
should affect our assets when it's paid, because we're gonna have brand new pipe in the ground.
No, because
Where the pipe that it replaced is definitely over 50 years old, it's totally depreciated now. I'm trying to see how this is gonna come together, and I don't understand how it will come together, and I'm trying to watch.
Bo, the 201,844 on accounts payable, is that just general day-to-day? In that account?
Well,
I believe it is. I believe Susie held that because the board wanted the Western bill held, so she didn't include that amount in the payables,
In that, so it would be closer to 500 and some thousand.
if that was included.
but
Because she didn't have the actual amount that we were gonna pay, right?
yeah, but it should still be an account.
It should still have been entered someplace.
I
So
don't.
let me look into that, why it wasn't. But it wouldn't be now unless they ran this August statement after they paid, which
Well, I
They
can't, the August
They
statement
did.
ended before September started.
But you're,
That's what I'm-
you're absolutely right. It should be in accounts payable.
Yeah, it's Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I think it's important that all outstanding bills as directors review and ask be shown someplace on the books, because if they're not, if we allow that kind of practice, that, bills just be sitting on it inside a desk drawer,
So,
that could lead to financial calamity.
so basically, all Bo needs to do is instruct her. When she runs a total, it's the highlighted total as well as the.
Yeah, but I think she's been here long enough. She knows all bills.
Susie will have an answer.
Yeah,
We'll talk to Susie
Yeah.
and then,
she's been here long enough
Well,
to know that. But we will double check. It's a good question.
But there may have been a previous practice of doing that, Bo. Of not posting everything, and if that needs to be dealt with, if it has been a previous practice.
So in the
Very bad.
past, when a bill
Tom, go
comes
ahead.
in, and the board says, hold it, we need to discuss it.
It's still,
That can't be a bill, and that's where Western was until last month. And then the board said it, but $1.70 was paid. So it has to show up in our balance sheet somehow here. Just like our long-term debt shows up, we're not gonna pay any more payments on that till late this year, but the whole debt is here.
I believe
This Western bill's gotta be a debt too, doesn't it?
it is, it is still a debt. Until it's paid. Susie had it written down below the line and showed to all of us. It's the highlighted yellow stuff. She probably just didn't add the two together. She's just showing them. And Bo needs to take a look at that to see how that's working. But it would be paid this month.
I know normal accepted accounting practices, you post a bill, end of story, so we'll get back to you.
I'll be looking at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff.
Good point.
Any other discussion on the consent agenda? Did we get vote on it already?
No.
We have a motion on it?
No, we accept the consent agenda.
Been moved, and Greg was second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
If the record show it was unanimous. We'll move on to manager's report. Vote.
Yes, I noticed under the consent agenda that you already kind of looked at this thankful account. Well, if I can pass this along, we have two CDs coming. We can pass it. Coming due. And specifically in October, 250,000. And then in November, and and then in November, 150,000. Now, you heard what happened today with a 0.5% drop in interest. And they suspect that there will be another 0.5%. And I know how the board operates between meetings, and I just wondered if we could get an approval from the board to renew at least the October one, the 250,000, which is now at 0.3%. The average return on our portfolio, what you're looking at, is 3.8%. So if we can renew that at least the average or better, the Montana short-term investment pool is at 5 and was at 5 3/4, and I'm sure it's going to drop quite a bit. But in this lower left or right corner, you can see that we have a return of 5.2% on that stipend account. And I think it would be somewhat a good investment and foresight by the board if we can move that 250,000 into the stipend account, Josh, which we did with the other 1.2 million back in May. We moved that out of this people portfolio because we got much higher short-term return from the Montana forest. Yeah, so 250,000, 0.5% here and there, it adds up.
The October one doesn't come due with the next month's due. So can we have a report next month's board meeting on what's available between now, today, and next month this time? Interest rates are gonna change probably a lot. Probably the best thing next month this time is to invest in at least a 3-year CD and tie it up, because interest rates are gonna continue, our forecast to continue to come down. 2 months from now, I don't think we can get near the interest rate that we will next month on a 3-year. We should get a maximum return from it. So let's look at the rates next month at the meeting and decide what to do.
This minute to come.
Well, my only concern with them locking the money up for 3 years, which is what most all these CDs are, they've just been on 3-year rollovers, and I understand locking it up if you don't need for 3 years. But from my perspective, after being on this board for about a year at this point, is that we have no idea what our needs are the next 3 years, because we still don't have
Long range.
a preliminary environmental review that we have any confidence in, and we don't have a capital improvement plan based upon that preliminary environmental review that we have any confidence in, because we still don't have any pipes condition assessment.
And that's,
So my personal, I know there's a downside risk, but I would rather understand the demands on cash that might be coming the next 3 years before I continue to lock funds up, in case we get these things done and we just decide we need to event this. That's just, it's either that or we have to borrow our own money back or pay a penalty when we cash it. So that's my only concern.
you know,
I totally agree with Jeff, and I'd like to see both of them, both the October and November one rolled into SIF. I also made a note, we've got a couple of others that are a lot further out, like 25, but that are like 0.7%. And I think it's possible to maybe get rid of it. I understand that we lose. But boy, we are losing at 0.7, just like we lost at 0.3%. And I think, and Bo, I think you're probably capable of doing that or working that out to see what, to me, it would be cost effective to sell those two. The ones that are under 1% and roll them into SIF. It just makes no sense to leave money earning nothing.
do we get no guidance at all from Stryper?
Yeah, last time, I think you authorized us in May to do this, and I talked to him about it. And he said, the prevailing, the short-term interest was 5.25, but he wanted to go 3 years with 4% because the interest was going down. Well, believe it or not, we didn't think so, so we didn't go with him, and that's why we put it into the Montana. And we made the right choice.
Yeah.
But we cannot outsmart the market. We have to listen to the expert. And I'm not professing you to do one or the other. But it's prudent to think ahead. It's prudent to look for the opportunities out there. And based on our average rate on what you're looking at here is about 3.9. And I think we can still do better than that. On the other hand, I don't want to lose an opportunity talking about it.
Greg, did you have something?
No.
Tom?
Selling a CD is broken like this, that we're getting 0.7%. We would have to pay the difference in the interest rate to sell it at today's, or whatever day you sell it. If that rate is 4%, it's collected 0.7, you're gonna pay 3.3% penalty to get rid of it. Just to get rid of it. So you've lost 3.3% of your investment right off the top to get rid of it. Then when you reinvest it, if you don't get a lot more than 3.5%, what is the advantage? You ended up at $1.00 loss.
So that, my mind says, why don't we put it in the Montana STIP fund?
Well, let's look at it next month and see where we're at next month.
The
Why should
STIP
we
fund
make that decision?
historically makes more. There's really no overhead charged. So whatever goes into stifle, they charge a commission. They charge a commission when you go take it out. Even if you're gonna take it out early, you got a penalty plus a commission.
And to Jeff's point, we can take it in and out at any point. We don't have to sit there for 3 years.
Right.
Look at this 0.7%.
And if we figure out that there's some place that we can make way more money and we know what we're doing, we can do it.
But that's what Josh and I did back in May, and I would assume it was authorized, but that was 1.2 million, and we did not go with Stifel on their recommendation. And the Montana Board of Investment was an obvious choice at that time. And but we will report back to the board regardless. I just since we had two, we're talking about $400,000 within the next 30 days, that we prepare ourselves to make a decision on how you want to do it.
For Christmas.
Bo, how much cash do you think we need to keep at First Interstate to pay bills as a reserve? I mean, $1.7 million seems high.
If you look at our trial balance, the changes, we are generating quite a little bit of cash.
Have you got the-
If we know when our bills are due, like when the city water is due and that money could ride out in Montana Stiff Fund till a week before it's due. So we could give 3 out of the 4 weeks of the month interest on it.
Yeah, I mean, $6,000 that they paid this month pays for 4 months of printing at Econoprint. That's it's just a tremendous opportunity loss.
And it's on and on.
But if you look at the trial balance, we're bringing 705,000 income fund. Our accounts receivable went up 110,000 beginning of the month, plus August is our high month, you said. So the net change in our cash position last month was over $1 million. And so we are generating cash, and this is net of any depreciation, which is not a monetary thing. We had no immediate need for cash. And later on in the meeting, hopefully we'll talk about the task order 28. And that is out, and the intermediate funds required to keep it going like we have can easily be handled from normal cash flow. The biggest cash flow we have during the month, of course, is payroll and associated things, which is about $91,000 a month.
Is it?
Cash flow wise, we don't have much expenses.
Is it possible to do a timetable as to income and a timetable as to expense?
Well, that's what I did in my business, is over my cash flow. So I'll make a cash flow forecast for the next 12 months, floating cash flow, because they're dead, 12 month, oh yeah, but happened.
No.
So we make a floating 12-month. And I don't think I don't think they have a cash flow need, but that's not a problem. We could do that on this budget.
I just think it would be
Yeah.
prudent investment, as long as
Yeah.
you've got 48-hour access to your, a big
Yeah.
savings account, you can cut that checking account. It's not
No
really
problem.
down to pretty close to the bone.
Yeah. No problem.
I just have a question. So we don't have a resolution and the board's supposed to act by resolution. We don't have a resolution and the board's supposed to act by resolution, but because we've done SIP transfers to SIP before, can we make a motion to go ahead and transfer the October and November CD amounts into SIP? Or do we have to wait and get it for another meeting and get a resolution?
I would prefer that we do it legally because it wasn't on the agenda.
Okay,
And if somebody had something to say, you could be in a problem. So I just as soon wait till next month
okay.
and it'll be on the agenda. And we'll do it the way it should be done.
So Jen, could you make that note in the minutes so that we know we get a resolution in next month's agenda and we don't have to remember that individually?
We'll have it drawn up.
Yeah,
Worded and circulated well before the meeting, so it will not necessarily become another discussion point on how to write it.
right.
Okay, so we'll do that. write a
Jen, you had a
resolution.
comment?
Just to clarify the Econoprint bill,
Uh-huh.
it's not a 1 month, it was 6 months worth of bills. But
Okay.
We got boxes and boxes
Oh,
of
then- And
paper.
we've got
So-
years of,
Yeah, yeah,
years of printing out of 6 months,
I just wanna
times 6,000. Thanks. That's why I hadn't seen the bill before.
yeah, it's boxes. We do it every 6 months to a year.
Well, 6 months ago, I didn't see the bill.
Okay,
so-
we're gonna go back to manager's report. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay. Yes, my favorite topic, of course, is our team, our employees. Unfortunately, one of them, Brandon Maxwell, never did return back after his July 28th emergency surgery. And on page 7 in our policy manual, we state that failure to call and not show or contact us is actually considered as a voluntary resignation. And that's how we took it, and we confirmed that in writing to him, and we still haven't heard a word from him. So not a big loss, unfortunately.
Right now,
Tom?
since he's been voluntarily terminated. Have we notified the census and all that on the retirement contributions and got that squared away?
It was too new.
He was, yeah, he was still on the probation, so he had no benefits or anything. Yeah, no problem. And since he was new, we did it legally the way we do it according to our policy of writing him, and in case there is any retribution or if somebody comes in. He had all the rights, and we showed him in the letter where to go in our policy manual if he had any issue with his voluntary resignation. So according to Josh and myself, there was unofficially not a big loss here. So one loss, one gain. We hired Adam Cushion, uniquely qualified individual, worked 7 years for the city. And he has CD license, and
Fully licensed and certified.
He's got like,
He's fully licensed and certified.
so he basically hits the road running and is of help to us day one. And as a matter of fact, I just talked to him today. How do you feel about your first 2 weeks? And we talked a little bit how the city did things and how we do things. And there is a big difference. One of them is paperwork and trust. So, employees, we don't have any other issue that I know of with any accidents. And service issue, I think,
Oh, excuse me. Right.
I don't know, do you still adhere to the policy handbook
yeah,
for the employees? So you got somebody coming in that qualified, do they still start at the very bottom of the ladder, or do they get? I'm sure you still gotta stay with the 6-month probation or whatever it takes, but
right.
because they're that qualified, did they get an advantage, a bump up in the ladder, or how does that work? Is it in a
Right.
handbook manual that way?
Right. We hire people based on qualification, but we have a rule, on how we do that. But when you look at it for the boards in the mouth and can tell that he's gonna win some races for you, I think you're willing to pay a little more, but I don't think we did that much more. We hired him at, was it 85%?
We gave him the full because he has all the time and he's fully certified with the state. He has the CDL, he has the distribution license. And he's put in over, for us, it's 2 years to be, you have 2 years to be fully certified. Once you're fully certified, then you go to 100%. Well, he's had his for 6 years, so he was fully certified. He started to operate.
And you
And
bring
this guy can make, this guy can make service calls day one. And was for Josh, of course, the big advantage, because when we train an individual after that 3-4 a month and send them to the classes, sometimes it's to Bozeman or someplace else.
Right.
There's a lot of expense, and then you find out he's a dud, that's a problem in business. It's people, and number two, it's people, and number three is also people, it's people. This district is not worth anything unless we have well-qualified people that know which day of the week it is, every day of the week. So, we're very happy to see Adam here, and, he was a great interview, and I just talked to him today again about his first couple of weeks here, and he's very happy to be on board with us, and we have asked for more of his friends.
So does he go on retirement benefits and everything right away, or did
That's a
did he
year.
just get bumped up on his wages?
It's just the wages.
The benefit of probation doesn't change, Josh, that's the same.
Okay,
It
that's,
doesn't, no, we don't do that. No, I don't think we could do that legally.
I was just questioning that, because
Yeah, no.
get somebody that qualified, I really think the wage has to go
Yeah.
up with it, but I was just
Yeah.
wondering how far you went with it, so.
Now, this was a very unique time. I think, the Heights reputation, is improving. We're not in the front page anymore or less. That helps. So no problem. I don't know if it was you, or Tommy that asked about service issues. Do we have problems, and what kind of problems? Do we have, what is it we're doing? Locates is a big item, of course. And typically we do 300 to 500 a month. August was down to like 300. I'll compare with some 474 last year, same month. And we only had one service issue during the weekend that got fixed on a Wednesday. And that was a service line, nothing serious. Did we have another one on the weekend? No, that was the same thing.
No, this one was found on the weekend and fixed it.
Yeah. So going back, looking at since January 1st, 2023, we had some 27 issues. That's that, we have a couple of a month. 59 or almost 60% of those were service line issue. We're talking about the water main, the condition of, but service line has been in our number one issue. So that normally means replacing a small diameter pipe to the service. That could be done within hours, correct, Josh? I mean, it's not depending on. However, those 27 issues that I mentioned to you, we have to report to the city, and they charge us $500 per dig. Isn't that correct?
Close to it.
So Josh doesn't like it, and the state doesn't charge us anything when we dig on Main Street. So they haven't sent us a bill yet, but Jennifer brought it up at our meeting last week. So we sent in the dates for our digs for interruption on the service on the street. I don't know what cost they have involved with this, other than checking that we covered the street and had no accident. They do not necessarily show up for these events, do they? I don't think so. So, anyway, that's something, we're looking at, but we basically invoiced ourselves for about $13,500 for no good reason.
Well, I would disagree with that. There's an attorney general's opinion that states that we need to pay the bill. So we may not like it, but you know, if
Right,
we
we
don't
don't.
like it, you need to bring us a recommendation to sue. And then we can make a policy decision about whether we want to hire lawyers or not. I think there's a number of board members that don't want to do that.
Okay, what we should do is find out what the state's argument is for not charging us, rather than figure out what's wrong with the city.
I mean, and so I agree with Jeff, and the 13,000 seems way over the mark, because when we talked about this during the settlement on the unpaid water bill, it was like $5,000 for 2 years, so something's off with the numbers. I mean, it was such a puny amount of money, it would never justify a legal dispute. So I don't know where the discrepancy is, but I wouldn't be doing anything until you talk with Jennifer and find out.
Right, she's the one who brought it to our attention. We
Yeah.
had a meeting last week. It's not a big deal, but Josh said, you know, the state doesn't do this. Why do you do it? What kind of expense is it involved, or is there legal or?
But the Attorney General has said they have the legal right to do it. They've done it for years. It's a
Yeah.
puny amount of money.
Right.
At some point, we have to stop getting in a conflict with everybody over everything.
Tom,
This is 1 year, this 13,000 goes back to all of 2020. We had 24 days, over a year.
Year and a half, yeah.
So, you know,
Correct.
13,000 a year, 3/4 in sewer, you're gonna spend a whole lot more than that in sewer.
okay,
I understand nobody likes, I don't like it. Does the city come out and inspect to make sure that the compaction is correct before asphalt is put down? Does the city do any of that? $500, if they're not doing their work is wrong, but to get a fix is ridiculous. If I was at that meeting when Jennifer brought it up last week, I think it was, and I asked if the city's utility paid the $500 fee for
Right.
each one,
Good.
and she said they did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we need, if we're gonna sue, and I don't.
No, we're not, no,
We will
we're,
have to team up
let's get
and
that.
sue.
no. Yeah, no, we're not proposing that. No, that's not why I mentioned it. No, not at all. A third, water purchase. We sold about 146.6 million gallons, up 7.3 from July, but 32.9% up from August last year. And that showed on page 15, on top, I believe, on page 15.
Very top,
Yeah,
top of 15. Yep.
so there is a good summary. And you can see that, the top line there. And what's interesting is the average paid per 1,000 gallon, 408 last year, August, top left corner up. And this year, it's been running both July and August at 661. That's an increase of revenue of 62%. And as you know, the water rate did not go up 62.2%. So our cash flow has increased because our expenses are not up that much.
Frank,
Do you have a reason for big increase from August of 23 to July or August of 24. Last year, August, it was already drying up pretty good. You know, June was wet, but July and August got hot and August. So, I mean, from August last year to this year's 36,000.
If I may, one thing that changed last year is when the city things are needed. Last year, meeting was from, was everything. So last year's meeting was after the rain. Passed out the wind, it's back to the hands. Now, we pretty much,
We're in a
well, you
tiered system now. We're not. Customers are in a tiered system, but not like this year.
No, we're the higher price this year. But that doesn't explain the amount of gallons.
No.
The thousands, and that's a lot of water if you really look at it. And I was just wondering if we've gotten that many more new customers? Or
We got flooding last
Sure.
year.
what's that?
We also had floodings last year.
Yeah, what?
Floodings.
Well, yeah, but August, it was already dry last year. I mean, it was. And this year there's 36,000 gallons difference. And so I'm trying to justify, people are saying our rates jumped too high, but yet they're using more water, so. Obviously, maybe our rates didn't jump too high if they're still using it.
Yeah, and one, another too is that we do have 8 million gallons of storage that it can fluctuate. And we got about 2 million gallons in our water lines. That doesn't change. Now, Josh and I, we had a hell of a time with the city on the billing for the water. You know, we did not get a bill for a month or two because they have new updated computer software system. But we did get a bill, and is that in the packet? I don't know if it's in the packets.
No.
Okay, so the bill was dated August 26th. For services rendered from May 30th to July 31st. For 283 million gallons. So we went down there to talk to the city, and we run into Jennifer. And we had an exchange of emails that I have not included, but to make a long story much longer, the end result was not very convincing. And what we recommend is that we do a meter reading together, the city and the heights at a certain time, the last business day of the month. And I don't think they committed, Jennifer didn't really commit it. We have a system, and you recall, we did have some issue about this very meter a few years ago. I don't think we need to go there again. And if we could take the human element out of it, all our readers in this district are done electronic, except for one, the most important meter in the whole damn district. $500,000 a month. And we meet it, and they scratch it out on a piece of paper, and based on that, we pay millions. That doesn't seem right. So I like to propose that that meter, like all the rest of them, are electronically read. Not only that, we incorporate it into our SCADA system so we can see month by month, week by week, what the usage is. And we all know what it is. I mean, we all have the same SCADA system. They have SCADA in our Hilltop tank and a few other places. So today, this is not It's not even science, you know? And this, all this stuff can be done remotely. The cost, I'll be happy to pay or volunteer to pay the Heights, thousands of dollars to have this done right and eliminate this variable forever, for all.
Yes, Bo, why isn't that one on, why isn't the city have it done? Why don't they do it electronically?
Well, the meter is electronic and all the hookups.
But
And
why isn't the meter hooked up on SCADA?
I can show you the picture because I want to see this meter,
Yeah.
this famous meter. I have the pictures of it. And a little window, so our guy go and check the window and get the number, he writes down the number. And then they have another guy who shows up and do the same thing. Well, the month of May, he wasn't there. The month of May, he was not there. Why? He missed it. So we gave him the number. Based on those numbers, they're billing us. This doesn't make any sense, guys. This does not make any sense.
Are they giving us meter readings, please, July? Are they giving us a end date meter reading?
Well,
Does that correspond or get anywhere it's close to?
I can send you copies of the correspondence with us and Jeff. But they prorate it here and there and there is no need for us to prorate any meter in this district, okay? That's not how we run things. We take the guesswork out of it, the math out of it. We work based on logic. And we have the equipment, we have the SCADA system, they have it, we have it. And as far as meeting down there once a week, coffee break and read the meter together and hold hand, and sing the company song. I don't think so, you know? Those days are gone. This should be smooth, seamless, cost effective, accurate. So I like to, I don't know if I need a motion to do this, but I would like to contact Lewis at the waterworks and see what he thinks, and he's probably gonna laugh about it and says, sure we can, Bo. You know, sure we can. I'm sure he's, yeah, I know, he's that kind of an engineer that could be done, easily done.
That's a day-to-day thing and.
Why don't you-
everything to do.
Why don't you pursue that with him?
Yeah. And I mean, it's very, but if he says no, I'll get a video camera and park it right there, read the meter. Then remote video camera, you know, that this is not very complicated. Do we want to go back to a $2 million issue with these people? I don't think so. You know, so
Dr. Esmond.
it's gonna help them, it's gonna help us, it's gonna help mankind, it's gonna help our district. We work for the district. They do not, oh, excuse me. Go ahead.
Well, you know, I'm in a similar situation with my bulk water
Yeah,
business. I have not been billed for the 2 highest use months
Well,
of the year, and they're generally, you know, 2 to 3 times what my other months are, so you're not
But, yeah.
alone, Mr. Anderson.
I hate to interrupt you, but you know, in addition to that, because they haven't billed you for 2 months, you get into the next category, the bill, the level.
I think he's a reseller, so it's a flat rate.
It might be fun,
Yeah,
but these people are furious because now they're in a different tier because they didn't bill.
They're not,
They
they're not,
said
they've been clear about that. They doubled the tiers. And billed for 2 months, so by doing that, you don't, there's no difference.
Right. But they did have, okay.
but that system is still weak.
Well, yeah.
Because that is averaging.
Yeah.
And that may not, you know, it's not reality, it's average.
But it's the best they can do.
what is our number of hookups now? We used to see that all the time.
I can report that. It's around 6,200.
61 and change,
Yeah.
61, 6,100 and something.
Yeah.
And you was talking about service lines in the last month. Did you say you had 2 leaks in service lines in the last month and that's it?
No, the service line issue, that's number one issue. Out of the 27, 16 were service line, representing 59%.
Looking at last month, how many service line leaks did we have? Just this past month?
Just
Did we
one,
get that
just
last
one.
month in your report?
One that required access, yes. I could give you the date on all of them here. But this does not include, yes, it includes. Actually, on September 4th, issue for the service line.
That's my last question. Did Grace Point Church decide to hook to our system or the cities? Did they pay a system development fee? How many new system development fees do we have in a month? That goes with meter commits, and I'd like to see that. You don't have to answer tonight, but I would like to see that each month in your report. How many system development fees we've collected, what our meter count is, so that we can see our growth. Right now, we haven't discussed growth in any number, in a year.
Sure.
I know we have to grow more.
Yeah, I reported that to you,
I'd
before
like to see that. So
I joined you guys and the growth was less than 2%. So how do we cure that? Doing away with service line fees and things. And as you know, you guys, had a special meeting doing away with the development fees. Now, yesterday I was up there and, the road was shut off and they started, you drive by there every day. And they worked in the rain yesterday and so it's being hooked up. Why is it being hooked up? Because we addressed the issue of growth. We addressed the issue of why. And we listened to the people in the community. We listened to the engineers. And I asked this particular engineer, who was a senior partner in this engineering firm, about other opportunities, and there are lots of opportunities that we did not know about that were on the table that most likely have gone on the western portion of the city. But now with the new heights.
Policy.
No, the new heights neighborhood development goes. They will have a meeting the 26th,
25th, I think.
25th or 26th. Have you seen
But between.
the
5
map
and 7.
of the region?
Shows,
Could you get it? It's on my desk. Oh, it's up there. It's up there. I posted it. So this map was developed by them. And it extends far west, Josh, than our current district. But this map was developed by the city, by this neighborhood organization, and identifies the district. And very importantly, the strategy, the road, the new access road into our region, they call them bypass, but I call them arteries for growth. New oxygen. Do we need to prepare for it? According to DEQ, we have a responsibility to develop our region. Do we? Yeah, we have task order 28, that main task. And we need to work on these things and respond to what people are planning to do in this region. So,
okay, thank you.
with that,
To answer your question, yes, Tom, they did the taps for those yesterday. They did the taps for the 4-inch and the 1.5 inch for the church yesterday.
but how much did they pay?
They paid $315 for the 4-inch tap, 250 for the 1 inch depth. 9,900 for the 1.5 inch system development fee, $200 line inspection meter set for a grand total of $10,665. Okay, you dropped the check off Tuesday morning or Monday morning.
So we do business in this district.
I thought they were gonna do a tee off, they scrapped that.
No, because that would have cost them more.
Oh, would it?
It would have cost the development more because Castle Rock would have had to temp water. They would have had to run temp water and that would have cost more to Grace Point Church.
Thank you. Move on to old business. Progress report on the 401k retirement, page 41 and 42 in the package. And I guess I have a couple of questions, but are there any questions for Bo on, as it's laid out on here?
Well, you had asked me to add one more, you needed
Right.
4. So I added one more. If you look at page 41 where the yellow is. So that's a combination of Fisher, our employees like Fisher. Fisher is a large investment firm, as you know. And Paycheck is one of the largest payroll people. Why payroll? We're not looking for payroll. Well, they provide this service basically very competitively if we throw in the payroll. And I don't know if you're familiar with Paycheck and their system, where they combined not just the paycheck online on your cell phone, but you can tell from their vacation day, how many days you have left, the summary plan description, the policy manual, everything. So it will save us a lot of time, a lot of backroom stuff. And these people, I have experienced probably 10 years working with Paycheck, my own business. And I never really had any issues. They do a superb job. So is it cost effective? It'd be a little less expensive than what we're doing now. But above all, it'd be simpler, and I think it will help Jen and Josh with a lot of issues they're dealing with on a daily basis. And they will do the 550 or the reporting, the government reporting.
Do they, the Paycheck, when they go to pay out an employee, before that check is made, for retirement and stuff, is that gonna be run across the board, or is that just go out to them and then, we have to kiss it goodbye because you can't collect that?
Well, we gotta make sure whatever issue we had before is a little bit like this water meter. If you have an issue and you continue to do the same thing you did before, you know what Einstein said about that, you try the same thing twice. That's how he defined insanity. So you answer to your question is that, are we gonna do the same thing with this output? No, I don't think so. So they've gotta be in writing, clearly understood what the summary plan description says and what our regulations are. And they will tailor them to our needs, what we need. So it's got to be clearly understood.
Any comments, Pam?
So I have a couple things. Jen, you were shaking your head about it being easier. Could you explain what you meant by that?
It sounds like it's just replacing me. It does all the taxes and the payroll. That's what I do. That's my job. 95% of my job.
Okay, so that's something that maybe Bo, you need to be clear with Jen and or with the board.
Well, we have resources. Human resources are the best kind of resources we have. How do we apply them? doing payroll today is should be automated in any company. It's not, we shouldn't spend much time on payroll.
So,
The insurance, all of those component parts.
so the
are plugged
question
in.
though is, that I'm hearing from Jen is, are we eliminating Jen's job? Or,
No.
and
not at
that
all.
needs to be clear, I think, to
Mm.
Jen.
No, this is not, it should not be a threat. This is an opportunity for Jen, number one, to work with this company that have features and benefit. But redirecting her efforts doing other things for the Heights water could be very beneficial. There are a number of things that needs to be done administratively and you know, documentation of what we're doing and what we're not doing. So this is by no means belittling or eliminating her job. No, there is no savings there.
Tom, you have a question?
Yeah, this is significantly cheaper than what we're paying now and cheaper for the employees. However, what got us into looking at this is the fine print, which is not here. What is the employee contribution? What is the employer contribution? Does the employer contribute weekly with or bi-weekly with paychecks or annually? When it comes time to issue a claim for payout, who is the financial responsible party, the fiduciary? Is that us or somebody else?
It's us.
These are the questions that aren't here at all and need answers, because this is where we got into a problem before. We thought we were doing X and it turned out to be Y, and everybody was in a frenzy. We need these questions answered up front so we know where we stand going in. I don't believe anybody liked the profit sharing because by definition, this district doesn't have a profit to share.
Right.
So are we eliminating profit sharing? Like I say, what is the district's contribution? What is the employees' contribution? And what is the fine print on when the monies are paid in to be started investment to gain for the employees? If we don't pay, like right now, we're holding all the money to pay in one time. So none of our employees get the benefit of that investment for months and months.
They don't like it.
Next
They
year.
don't like it. I
That's
don't
not
like
a
it.
good thing for the employee. I understand that, but get back to where we are. We had an agreement that was not administered according to what's this agreement. Now, I don't see it at all. So I can't support any one of these until I see.
In order to do that, we have to, number one, choose one of these, read the contract. We're gonna have to readjust our policy to either correspond with them or have them change to correspond with us. And I got a feeling it would be us change to correspond with them because they just do Director Esper.
Well, I just wanna restate my support for we're looking at each of these pieces, but we need to look at the system as a whole. And we have not done that. You know, was information in this packet about cafeteria plans and the fact that provided employee flexibility. That they could choose whether to spend their money for improving their health benefits or improving their retirement based upon what they perceive their needs to be. You know, And I think that is an appropriate approach to try to treat employees similarly, based upon the fact that they're doing similar work. You know, and,
I don't buy their.
well,
We
they're,
didn't have a
they're, they're,
cafeteria
they're put,
and
they're putting in, they've got the same job description. And pretty much they're probably putting in fairly similar hours on an hourly basis, plus overtime. So, you know, from my perspective, I would take, if you're gonna start from, I think a start from scratch approach needs to occur here. We total up what we're spending right now for health and retirement. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars a year divided by the people that are eligible for those plans. That's their budget. And then I would bet if there's a favor, you know, if there's a desire to go with one company, say, what kind of cafeteria plan can you put together with this money? And then that would be an approach to take. And we could get out from under this. Are we cutting benefits? You know, are we increasing benefits? You know, because then you can devote the same money and have people spend it appropriately, but save the district the money by taking a comprehensive approach. So I still support treating them fairly. I don't, you know, when you've got one employee that's getting, I don't know what, $1,400 a month for health insurance and another that's getting 4,000, that doesn't seem right to me.
I can't support Jeff on this at all, because healthcare is dependent on age. You got somebody 19 years old, their health premium is cheap. You got somebody 70 years of old age, their health premium is tremendously high. To say they're doing equal work and only deserve the same amount for healthcare that's not in today's world. The older person's gonna spend a whole lot more for healthcare than the young.
Pam?
I'm having trouble making sense of what this means, but to me, the first thing is to look at the handbook, because Tom had made a comment earlier when we were talking about it, that he thought anything that the district contributed should be matched by the employees, which is what is true for public employees. The district puts in 8%, the employees put in 8%. And personally, I'm not willing to just dish out the money. I mean, it's not, if they're just taking the 10%, that's not adequate for their retirement. It really isn't. They need to match the 10%. And there's nothing guaranteed about 10%. 5% is guaranteed in the handbook. 5% is board choice, which the board has never made a choice about. It's just happened without any board input. So to me, we've got to resolve the thing of, are we just gonna shovel money out the door? Or are we gonna make employees match? To me, they've got to make a match. Every other government employee in the state of Montana matches the commitment. And that's what I think it needs to happen here.
Greg?
Is there a local person for Fisher that could come in and answer questions?
Not for.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Or do a Zoom?
We
with
have,
somebody?
yeah, we have Zoom meetings.
Is that possible to do that for an informational, work session or something?
Well, all of these, they have on YouTube and this and that, if you want to arrange a meeting, yes. Fisher and Paycheck are very formidable, the largest company.
Mhm.
They have galore. So that would be, could I address?
Yes, go ahead.
One of my favorite songs is Harold Belafonte's song about it's a hole in the bucket. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not Eliza.
No, so fix it, they're hanging, fix it. With what? There, Eliza, there, with a straw, and it goes around and around, and it comes to the dull axe, sharpen the axe. Well, there is no water in the stone. Well, get the water. and it loops around. What am I saying here? What was the original intent? What was the intent of this whole exercise? Was to replace who?
People to do.
Yes. Okay. I think we need to retract and go back to the original mission of this objective, which was to replace a census, okay? The benefit, how much that you would play and all that, the percentage, cafeteria plan, those are separate issue. So what is it we need to fix? We gotta fix the plan, who is managing the plan? I'm talking about the fiduciary, which is Fisher. The administrative individual, the second administrator, and the record keeper, those three things. That's what we are in charge of. This is what we try to solve. And this is what I've been working on for about 2 months, okay? The other things are separate issues. They're equally important. That's not a problem. But we can't fix the hole in the bucket if we chase the straw with a dull axe. The subject matter is fixing a census with a different plan. Now, you have 4 different plans here. 4 different plans. Let's talk about the plans. How we contribute, who qualifies for the plans are different issues.
But there's no information here. There's just a cost.
I will give you the
So,
there are pages, tons of pages
I know.
of Fisher, tons of pages. And then, so once you decide something you feel comfortable with, and it's gonna boil down to an emotional decision. It doesn't matter how much of the financial, how much of the, it's gonna, what do you feel comfortable with? And I have presented 2 of the largest firms in the United States. And I suggest you stick to discussing those and, you know, what do you feel comfortable? Because for me to fix the hole in the bucket, and every time I do it, there's another hole. Stick to what you empower me to do. I will help you with all the other things, but in front of you on the board is the subject matter that Josh, Jen, and our team are very concerned about. Why? They will eventually retire. They need the plan they can feel comfortable with, you know?
So when are we gonna get to discuss the design of the plan then?
I will present that.
When?
Once you have said, Jeff, let's say, at this point, we like to go Fisher and Paycheck, like Bo recommended, if you come from Wood, he has lots of experience with them. I will present you with the documents and the proposals. There are lots of them, and you might want to get the legal counsel involved, but those are documents that will probably be 20 or 30 pages, and I will be happy to do that. Once you narrow down on one of these 4 proposals, but the other issues, I don't try to be funny or anything, but the other issues on cafeteria plan, how much, who qualifies, are different issues, guys. They're different, they're totally different issues. For us to advance the board to make a decision on how do you want this plan to be administrated, who do you want to be the fiduciary, who's going to do the record keeping, has nothing to do how much you spend with the employees, has nothing to do with it. Those are separate issues that you could take at any point later on. You know, that is not the problem.
Could we at least get information if they have the capacity to design a different plan and administer that? That was my question.
Yeah. If you say, okay, Bo, we want to go to the next step with Fisher and Paycheck, I will present that document. I will email that document to you.
So I really,
Okay,
I'm
Pam,
sorry.
Greg's up first.
Um,
Art.
I'm kind of hearing that the board would like a little more information. I think we'd be interested in looking at Fisher. But I guess I think what I'm hearing, Jeff, is how would their plan compare to our current plan? What are the
Fisher is the plan we
differences?
already have.
Hmm?
Fisher is a plan that we already have.
Okay,
There is no, I wanted to make it as seamless for our employees, for you, as far as making. The only issue here is, can Paycheck replace Randall Hurley and a census? That is really the question in front of the
Okay.
board. It's not Fisher.
Look, I'm not gonna answer some of where I was going, but Fisher was the fiduciary, so they were responsible for the third party and the record keeper. Or was it something that Heights Water set up and says, this is the three you have to work with? And so now you're using Fisher, so did you put this program together? Did Fisher make recommendations? I'm having a hard time figuring Fisher is who we had before, and maybe they
Yeah.
should have came forward and said, hey, we gotta get rid of somebody here, and they didn't do it, so. How are we gonna benefit by hiring Fisher again?
No,
Can-
Fisher's already doing, and the reason why I tried not to replace Fisher is that everybody's happy with Fisher. And their performance. The problem we had was with the census. Randall Hurley, they like Randall Hurley. And as I mentioned to the board some time ago, we need to make it simpler, less costly by combining the administrative and the record keeper together, and that's typically what's done today. So the big thing before the board here is Paycheck. Who are Paycheck? And I'm telling you, they're one of the largest in the United States handling this stuff. So it's not like,
I make a motion that we direct staff to proceed with the Fisher Paycheck plan and bring it to us. To get a second,
Mainly.
I'll second, well, I got it, we got a motion on board, I'll second that so we can have some discussion.
Can I clarify for Frank?
Go ahead.
Before Fisher was the investment, we were with UBS. Randall Hurley was still the plan administrator for the district when we had UBS. Duke and Peyton went out and because the fees that UBS were charging were pretty significant. So they went around, found Fisher, and Fisher was the cheaper one as far as the fees went, but still offered what we were looking for as far as the investments. A census is tied to Fisher as the record keeper. So Fisher and a census are kind of tied at the hip. Or the, yeah. So the administrator, Randall Hurley, has been with the district for many, many years. They were, I can't remember the name of the company. It was a different company before, it was Randall Hurley, but it's been the same. The Randall Hurley's been, or the previous companies have been the administrator for many years. But when we switched from UBS to Fisher, a census got brought in as they're part of Fisher, if that makes sense.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Name.
There was discussion last time that we were just looking at the state of Montana. Oh, right there, you got it, Montana MPERA 457, the cost on that is $5,261. It's significantly less than what Fisher Paycheck is. But I'm concerned with that is the fact that not always get what you pay for. And so what's your opinion on?
yeah, I
Going back
think,
to
I
state
think
of
you missed, that meeting, Nate, when we talked about it. Montana is a defined benefit program.
So it's just a benefit.
You can go either or.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah. While these plans are defined contributions, we're the employee
got it,
direct the investments and that sort of thing.
perfect, got it.
The other plan is somewhat cumbersome and it gives the employees very little flexibility.
I made my motion
In the-
because
Right, we're discussing it.
Montana,
Tons of things they
Plan.
can, they can.
like you said,
Contribution, yeah.
it's here.
The benefit, no.
It doesn't give the employees the chance to invest their money
These two
as
programs.
aggressively as Fisher.
Right.
Now,
Dan, do
with
you have-
somebody like Fisher or whoever you go to, you can invest really, really aggressive. Or you can invest really, really conservative. You could have all but a zero return. Because you don't want to take any risk. And you could end up with $7 a year on $100,000 plan because that's how conservative you are. Or you could be up there
That's your
where you
cafeteria.
get 40% return per 100,000. Because you want to be aggressive. If you want to retire and want to be aggressive, it doesn't change the district's level of help. It's all what the employee wants to do. You know, like Pam says, I want a plan that the employee puts into and we match. I don't want a plan that just gives them money. That's not a retirement, and that's a savings account. I want a plan to help employees with their retirement,
Right.
not take it.
Pam, you had a comment?
Well, that's a false statement about PERS. They have a defined contribution and a defined benefit plan. The defined contribution has a tremendous number of options. And and frankly, the most significant thing in how well you do with investment is keeping your fees lower. And the fees are gonna be far lower with the state PERS than with Fisher and Paycheck. So I mean, I wouldn't personally invest in Fisher. I think it's a poor plan. I realize staff like it, but they've been in one loaded plan and now they're in another loaded plan. The one thing that you ran into is that they were taking money when money went in to Fisher. Not only did we pay the huge fees to Census and Randall and Hurley, they were also taking money out of the employee's check. That's a bad plan. Even if employees like it, it's not good financially for them. And your statements about PRLs are incorrect. So I'm really disappointed that what you've presented is the same plan that's much more expensive and not of good value and isn't comparable with what any other government employee in the state of Montana is doing. So I won't vote for this. I mean, I realize I may be in the minority, but I won't vote to support this kind of spending.
And just for the boards. I also sit on the board for PERS, so I mean, not involved myself with any back and forth on that at all, or will I vote on it? So just be on the up and up.
You're recusing yourself without leaving the room.
That's right. That is right.
I think there's a motion.
Motion
And I'm gonna support this motion and it because of the fact that, I'm not very familiar with Montana, but I know what we've had in the past. And it's served the employees right. And we're gonna add the Paycheck, the number one company in the world that has done this and has history with it. And not always everything you do within the government entity cheaper and makes it better. And because of the fact we talked about the contributions and was explained to me as to how we'll have to have the flexibility that we're gonna get with this on Paycheck and be able to use, like Director Espen said, cafeteria plans where you can be as aggressive or as conservative as you want. That they're not gonna allow with the other plans, it's still gonna give them what they've had before with the census, and they're gonna be able to move on. So, yes, I'm going to be in favor.
Tom, can you repeat? Are you got?
So I just want to make one comment, looking at the grand totals. Edwards Jones is like $2,500 annually in grand total costs. Lower than Fisher in the yellow bar, so Is there something wrong with them?
Well, that plant will cost the Heights more money. It's cost to employees.
So
less.
that stuff in yellow doesn't represent what it actually.
Well, go up total cost for Heights. It's almost 9,000. Almost twice as much as what we're proposing.
Which.
If you go,
total cost.
Total plant cost,
Yeah, okay.
Can you repeat your
That-
motion, Tom?
Move we have staff proceed with bringing us more information on Fisher paycheck.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, we'll chance, just a voice vote, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. All in opposition, please signify by saying nay. Okay,
No,
we got one,
yeah,
no,
I will present a proposal, final proposals to you so you can see how the proposal look like.
Thank you.
Kit, would you be able to have that, available for the work session?
I pretty much have them now, so yes, that wouldn't be a problem. Wouldn't be a
That's
problem.
gonna be on, October 2nd.
October 2nd, yeah, there's no
On a
problem.
Tuesday? No, yeah,
Wednesday, October 2nd.
No problem.
Okay. Consolidation investigation project report, right? It's on that interview.
okay, so. We've got an MOU go back and forth. And it's been to our attorney and it's been to city's attorney. And I just got a copy today, I think it was, on the cities, and Doug just handed it to me tonight, and there's a few changes that our attorney's got on it, and it's basically pretty much everything that was in there before, but there's a few idiosyncrasies and stuff, so I don't know how you guys want to approach it. Nobody's got even a copy of it to be able to know what.
Yeah, I can send you all a copy of it. You all looked at the memorandum as it was originally written. And this is a coordination between our lawyer and the city's lawyer.
And they haven't got back.
Yeah,
Our attorney got back to me at 5:35 this evening. That's why you don't know anything about it, so,
and the city hasn't seen his changes,
no.
so we need to get that forwarded to the city attorney.
So they're still exchanging clarification.
Yeah,
Clarification.
Okay, there's nothing to talk about then tonight.
There's nothing.
so
you know how it is when you get an
if you
attorney.
do October 2nd as a business
Right,
meeting,
yes.
you could approve it there, right?
If we have it all
Okay,
ready, yeah. And we could also take care of the investment too at that point in time, if we have everything ready. Okay. Anything else on that? Frank?
No, that's what we're waiting for, is that MOU, so everybody can get started, so.
Okay, new resolution. Like page 43. And that,
This is something that Jeff suggested. I don't know if it's written the way you want it.
According to this resolution, nothing happens until task order 29 is finished. And that's not gonna happen today. Therefore, I propose to table this. I'm against it because we don't have a clear decision between the city and this district of what our boundary is. If the city is gonna continually to try to sell water to people in this district, what is the sense of putting that Northwest transmission line in? We'll never get hooked to anybody other than our existing customers. The boundaries between us and the city have to be issued. That has to be resolved. We just can't go on forever with the city saying, well, we're gonna serve our residents. And part of the city of Village, they have no intent of bringing water to me. Why is our boundary so ridiculous to them when they cannot bring water to me or to Frank or to Pam?
So you're saying you're asking for the board to approve a lawsuit?
No, I'm asking for, and I believe, listening to Kukulski last week, he understands the need for some kind of resolution on a boundary. So that is what I'm asking for before we commit any more resources on this Northwest transmission line to have the boundary clarified between us and the city so that the city understands there is a boundary. They're not gonna put a water line across, and we're not likewise. not
These
gonna
two task orders, we did not pass, or the majority of the people on the board did not pass. They are in existence.
That's right.
Contracts have been let for them.
Yep.
We cannot, we're there. We can hold up the boat, but we can't take it out into the ocean. We can just hold it up. That's all.
So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I understand. So 28 completes the PER.
No,
No, 28's Northwest Transmission.
Oh, okay, 29. Yeah, 29 completes the PER, which we know we have to do. And this says after 29 is completed, we will reconsider 28. I don't see that that's an issue. I mean, it seems to me that's an easy vote.
Right. Me?
I think I agree with Pam on this, it's an easy vote. We have to go on and tell the city directly that this is our property. And we've been working on this for 3 years, and we cannot say, now we want you to define the city or the boundary, because look what's happening now. The city is telling us that maybe we should just combine the city with the district. So at this time, this will define the boundary as it's written.
The other thing, we had a meeting, Tommy, Jeff, you were at the meeting with the city. And we discussed this very point, and I brought up the task order 28, specifically the 24-inch Northwest pipeline. And I mentioned to them that it really doesn't matter if Heights Water, Billington Water, whatever, that Northwest area has to be served. So it's not like we're wasting time or wasting money by doing it. Question is who's doing it at that time. But when we're dead long gone, there will be a 24-inch pipeline up there. I'm pretty sure of it. So we have put it on a proposed agenda for our November meeting with the city for our board members to review. There's about 4 items that we like to discuss at this informal meeting that should be beneficial in case we have the next step for the consolidation one way or the other. But wasting time just talking about it's not gonna get us there. So it doesn't matter who's in charge, we gotta do it, you know?
Yeah.
Director Esmond.
Well, I think there's economic opportunity coming for this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because of this, because of that new Lockwood connection, it's gonna bring opportunity to the community. Whether that gets served by us or the city doesn't really make any difference. But it's important is that we serve the members of the community, and what's in their best interest is to get a decent plan put together. And that's why the PER needs to go first.
And
So I'm gonna support the motion, and we can let
I'm
the
gonna
chips
make
fall
an
where they may.
amendment to the motion. Change with the, says system-wide PER with the completion date of October 2024. I want to change that October 2024 to November 12th, 2024, as was decided in the last month's meeting.
That a motion to amend, Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Wasn't
That
that
was
on
on the
the,
project.
that was on the GIS,
That's
not
just
task
the
force.
GIS.
It's just on the.
But it doesn't.
but they can't complete this without the GIS.
with this-
No, the GIS is for the
Pipes.
pipe study.
That, and the PER is gonna depend
So
on.
we're gonna leave it
pipe
at October and have the PER done, or the pipe study done in, November.
They're already showing you a schedule where they're gonna have. The end of October is when they have the.
the reason I asked, it says October with no date, 2024. Is it October 1st, which is the week after next? Or is it October 31st?
We can bring
It's towards-
a specific date.
I mean, that's a month.
Up to the board.
If we go to Ecologic, that's, they're saying 1st of December, or 30th of November.
Yeah,
they'd have
they
it for-
committed themselves without the $5,000.
So the. Interstate Engineering is going to need their report to finish the PER. So this October should go to January 25. Because it's gonna take them longer than a month to get their results combined into what they need.
We can have preliminary
Yeah.
information and they will be working together. We have already lined them up. Technically, as far as the information they need to conduct it. So the dates are all good, they're tight, but they're good. But to Doug's point, we should have the date of the 31st or November 1st.
Well, I don't think they can complete it without,
Yeah, Ecologic.
without Ecologic, so it's way out.
Well, if you'll withdraw your motion, I'll make another one.
It wasn't seconded, so.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to amend this resolution to state with the completion date of December 31st, 2024. To give them plenty adequate time.
What was the date?
These are long-term decisions.
New Year's Eve, December 31st.
These are long-term decisions. These are,
Stay home that night.
well, big money is gonna be spent based upon these decisions, and there's no need to rush a big decision.
I'll say that.
Good second by me.
Now,
Tom?
if Ecologic isn't done until December, do you have a date in December? How can you expect task order 29 to be done before Ecologic's done, or within seconds?
It's going from October to
December 30th.
December 31st, but
Well, if
Ecologic isn't done,
Ecologic's done the 30th of November, they said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
November 30th.
or, now that makes it, I gives them the month of December to
Right.
use.
Unofficially, they will have preliminary reports. And I have connected the two engineering firm, they're already working together on this, so I'm comfortable with the dates based on the discussion at this point. But December 31st here, I know. Well, obviously, we'll give it more time, but we probably have a better report, okay?
okay.
That's what we need.
All in favor, said motion.
Which one? Now, this is the
The
amendment.
To
amendment,
amend the date to December
amend the date.
31st, 2024.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those in favor of the amended motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Vote passed unanimously.
Something done.
Longevity and healthcare
That was a
benefits,
good motion.
Rick? Did you want to move?
Okay, I would like to make a motion. I think, Bo's done a lot of good work on this. I think it makes a lot of sense. But we've already just got done with wages for this year. We've got a lot of other really important stuff that needs to be done, and I would like to table this to January or February of 2025 to be worked into wages for next year.
You for a table to January or to February?
January to make it February, that gives us January to catch up on some other stuff. I mean,
Is there a s-
New rates done.
The problem here is that
we need a second before.
I'll second it.
Jeff has seconded, okay, Tom,
if we're gonna delay this until February, comes before January first, we have to approve the healthcare policy for next year, every year. It started January 1 and runs through December 31st. So you're gonna have a defined health insurance policy for all of 2025 before you take up this item. You don't need to take this up until next August.
Can I interrupt?
Rick?
I'm just, my motion just covered A
Yeah,
of that
just
one,
A.
not the whole thing.
Just the longevity and
Yeah,
bonus.
bonus. Yeah. And Tom brings up the point, but the point is, I think 5 years is $500. 10 years is 750. I don't know if anybody's, we're not talking big money, but we're actually giving them incentive to be here. So I'm okay with waiting till, what did you say, Frank? February?
February,
Yeah,
work it in the next year's
Forget the
wages.
healthcare, I mean, healthcare is
That's
thousand,
more.
much more money. This is just an incentive for them to stay. So I'm gonna go with that at that.
Any other discussion before we vote? Yeah.
Well, I would just point out that what Nina's looking at is our current longevity plan, not the proposed longevity plan. The proposed one is far more expensive. So I do support moving it to February.
Where's the far more expensive one?
Proposed number one is
Oh, I'm sorry.
16,000.
Yeah,
Page 44.
I didn't look at that.
yeah.
17,000.
Okay,
All in favor of tabling that to February of 45? Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously to table until February. Health insurance benefits, page 48 to 54 on your piece, and you've got a grand total of 9 minutes. Would you like to present that?
Yeah, currently, as you well know, we have a full healthcare benefit for employees and family. And costs us the new rates about $17,000 per month. Now, we lost a couple of employees, so currently it's probably close to $14,000 per month. And it ranges per employee from $1,500 to $2,400, depending on number of dependents, spouse, children. And in my proposal here, I outlined a few things. And one is to go down from what they call a premium plan to
Platinum to
right
gold.
now we have a platinum. And we can save some money. The coverage is about the same, but the deductible changes. And leaving the up to employees, if they want to stay with that plan, they have to pay the extra to upgrade themselves to the platinum level. So that's an easy fix. Everything stays the same, except we drop from a platinum to this gold plan. The other one is a cafeteria plan where you pay it pre-tax, so you can set aside some money. And Alan Associate, who handles our health insurance now, could handle that, set that up for us, costs about $500 to put together a section 125 plan. And I think we said that will save about $2,500 per month. And then I also proposed that we have a percentage where we pay 90% of the employees pay 10% of the plan. So they have a vested interest in the plan and the quality of the plan. I always did that. Is there anything you take for granted 100%? Nobody pays any attention to it. So it's, I finish it bit with saying that it's really up to the discretion of board of directors to change these health plans as you feel they should be. And at one point, one board made a resolution to present this plan and accept it. So that was, I think, very generous. And that's one of the reasons why Adam here went with us. We have great benefits.
That's right.
So I don't think it's any secret out there. Our employees are well-paying, great benefits. And Josh and I, we talked about that. And that's why we do have very little issues with our employees that have been here. They average 10.6 years or something. And they supervise themselves. So there is a choice of the strategy and the corporate culture. And normally you get what you pay for. So the less we pay, the more labor issues, the training we will have. But you can go overboard too. So it's a delicate balance. So we seek guidance as previous management did on health plan. But they certainly have a very, very good plan. And that is also a drawing ticket to the heights. People like to work here.
Is not the, both the gold and the platinum plans taxable? There was a thing on employee benefits, and if you were gold or platinum, I know for sure, you had to pay something into the feds.
That is a good question, Mr. Chairman. I'm trying to remember that. Those discussions on those bills when they were before the legislature.
Yeah.
I do think that should be a question
Yeah.
for this, about Mr. Allen.
Right.
Because that was a controversial element
Yeah.
of the Affordable Care Act.
And that,
And
And
the thing with
I can't remember, it's been long enough now, I can't remember how that was resolved.
if you do set up a cafeteria plant to handle it, the problem with the cafeteria plant is that you use it, you lose it. For instance, if it's $2,000 a month, and you set it up that way, and you do not use that, let's say it's 1,700, you do not get the benefit
But you
for
can-
that balance.
you can have your kids go out, get their eyes examined and new glasses and use it up. Or you can go get your teeth fixed at the end of the year.
There's also some that carry over too. You can just keep building.
You can carry over.
Well, the cafeteria plant is,
That's cut and dried, I
it's,
guess.
Yeah.
you don't have much flexibility.
It's HSA plan.
But right now,
Right,
our
yeah,
health
comments.
insurance is tax deductible.
What they did at the county with us is
So
the,
it's not, there is no.
the IRS was requiring the number of insurance to be reported,
Take it off,
but they did not tax us on it.
and you pay taxes on
But they were
the.
starting to require reporting on what that
State
dollar
or
amount
federal.
was
Yeah.
in preparation of maybe taxing it in the future.
Yeah, I don't know where that all shook out.
I think we should, just to be prudent, find out exactly what the status of that law is.
Doesn't the county limit to
Bo,
1,800
do
per
you,
employee
Mr. Chairman, your
Go ahead.
permission?
Unlike,
for health
So
insurance?
the employee sharing a part of the premium in your experience, has that led them to
I don't think so.
take a hard look at what level of coverage they wanted and how to balance deductible and
The
those
answer-
types of decisions?
The answer is yes. Let me tell you a story. We had a foundry operation, very hot. So we thought all employees should have free drinks, Coke. So we have an open Coke machine they can drink. What do you think happened? There were half drunken Coke bottles everywhere. So something that's given to you you take for granted. You're entitled to it. Okay, but what I found out in my life is that if you have a little stake in my operation, you'll show up to work. And you might not even know what day of the week it is. That helps me, okay? So any free money makes some people feel guilty, some others work harder to get more. And I believe in having people have a stake in the operation, have a stake, whatever I give them, they have a stake in it. And if you give something for free, I mean, that's your problem.
Excuse me, does the gold plan have prescribed providers? Right now, our premium plans allows our employees to go anywhere
Correct.
and get service. And the plan that was presented 3 or 4 years ago at a cheaper rate
Right.
had a provider network.
Correct.
It didn't fit
Right.
over half of our employees.
Yeah,
Because
correct.
they weren't using that provider. So is the gold got a provider plan?
There is no limit, and the same with the, the gold and the premium. The only difference really is the deductible between the two plans,
out of pocket.
you know.
But they have
And
a
there,
provider
as you
network.
can tell, there is
Oh,
a
there's
big
no-
difference.
Anybody you go to doesn't make any
And
difference.
the deductible is where a lot of people make money. It doesn't sound like a lot. But for people, it's a big item. And that's of course where they make a lot of the money is that deductible. And the less deductible, the higher the plan. I don't know how the car insurance here in this state, but
Damn high.
right, the deductible is depending on where you want to be. So with insurance, it is an expense. And the more coverage, the more you pay, and there is no exception. So that is one way, and that would save us $30,000 per year switching. But don't forget, you're taking it out of our employees' pockets.
As opposed to taking it out of our ratepayers' pockets. I mean, there has to be a balance. The money that's been given to employees in the past few years has been a huge increase, both in terms of salary increases and benefit increases.
Right.
And the ratepayers are paying through the nose and far more than they pay in billings. So it has to be balanced. It can't just be whatever's happened by some board in the past. It has to be a consideration of the ratepayers as well.
Well, I think the 90-10 and the old plan make big sense. Because that split,
It's very, very simple because everybody have the same plan, they deal with the same people. It's just that they have to pay more and we pay less. And our excuse is the ratepayers.
We don't pay less, the ratepayers pay less. We're not paying, except as ratepayers.
No, I realize that, but I work with these wonderful people. We're doing this because the average in the industry, or we have so much complaint from the ratepayer that the rates are high, we gotta reduce cost, operating cost. So I think as an organization, we need a good excuse why we're cutting benefits. And I'm just thinking loud with you on how should I get that across without getting shot.
They're far in excess of what the teachers get, what the city gets, what the county gets. I mean, they're government employees working within Yellowstone County, and all of those teachers get one paid position, they pay 100% of their family. I think the city's capped at 1,700, or it was capped at 1,700 for everything. I just think we just have had a very generous board that just shove money out the door without any knowledge.
pendulum swings and you can't go from here.
I understand that you can't go that far back, but you can't just keep,
The nine, it's an area where they have some skin in the game. mean,
Yeah, and look what, look at what's happening with our teachers now. We can't even get any teachers. So we've got to look at the incentive that we can bring to the employees and our government employees. Who wants to be in the government anymore? Because of what we want to pay them, and everybody says, well, we're the ones hurting. But if we got a system here where we're working with what, 7 people, 8 people, we could add another 4 people to really do this job. But the incentives are here because of the health benefits we give them and the salary we give them, that the 4 people that they're working for or against is actually working for us. And a much more harmonious area of where we're looking at. So obviously, having healthcare problems my whole life, that has been the most generous thing and the greatest thing you can give. And don't look at what teachers are doing, because you can't even get a teacher anymore in this country to work in Montana because the benefits are so low. So I would say I'm for giving the best healthcare benefit we have. The 90-10 is great.
I know our team, our employees are very, very grateful for the health plan and the benefits. And Josh and I, we discussed the other day when we hired Adam, this guy would never given us a second thought. It wasn't benefit, pay, and how we do things. And it was easy, you know? And like I said, I've talked to him today about things, and that is good, but there is a compromise. I mean, there is a fine line. And if you want to, we can dust off the survey we did a few months ago about healthcare. And there were a few other utilities that pay 100%. So we're not the odd man out here. So that there are the utilities, and if you want us to dust that off and just concentrate on that component part of the health and how much they pay, we can do that for the board, but if you want to consider some action.
so the health insurance something needs to be done before the first of the year. So the board's gonna have to take this and do something with it. I'm gonna say at our November meeting at the very latest. I will not allow it to go into, we'll sit here all night, but I won't allow it to go into December. We got to figure that out. Being there is no motion on the floor, it's just been a discussion. If there is no other motion on health insurance.
I'll make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to table this for today, but to bring that up in our next meeting in October. With further discussion with a motion to propose a plan that we'd like to look at.
So it's been moved to table motion and table anything on health insurance benefits until October. Second by Jeff. It's non-debatable. All in favor, said motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay,
We're gonna take up new business, Mr. Chairman.
no. We don't have time. We said we're gonna get. We'll just for information, we already approved the ecologic thing. But in accordance,
I just got an email before the meeting from them. Because I sent those 4 issues our attorney had. And they basically said they would accept it, and that it was standard boilerplate, and one didn't. This happened with large companies. They're part of Mueller. Mueller is probably a $2 or $3 billion company. They used to be one of my competitors. So half their executive staff are attorneys. You know, whatever they do, they got to go through attorneys. But so they put this boilerplate, no matter what they do, but no matter what the division is. So this is a very small Canadian division of Mueller. were almost apologetic.
So they accepted our attorney's.
Yeah,
recommendation.
and I sent it to you with a CC to Martin. So I think that we're gonna be able to do it, and we're gonna be able to do it on time, end of November, without the $5,000 carrot, which I kind of kept for myself.
You'll be held up at least 7 or 8 times.
No, but I obviously asked them before, so there was no need to.
Save it for the cafeteria.
Because if I showed it to them before, oh, I don't know how we're gonna do this. But to make a long story short, I think we're good.
Okay,
And,
good.
and you have a resolution already for Doug to
Right.
sign and the contract, so we're in good shape there.
So they can get rolling on some.
Yes, and this wouldn't affect it.
Okay, as far as announcements, work session, or business at whatever, case may be on October 2nd, at 9 o'clock. That's iffy. I mean, things aren't all lined out, they won't happen. We'll just have a business meeting next week on the 16th. Okay. Any other comments or anything before we adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Yep, excuse me, go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I do hope the October agenda will include discussion of our. The general manager can put together some rates that'll. Reflect same tiers as the city of Billings, so we can make an apples to apples comparison.
Did that go in one ear and out the other? Did it stretch?
No, that is in the agenda, and I approached Jennifer, as you know. And they had proposed a 48% increase. Now, I didn't realize that resolution was rescinded in June.
No, they just amended it.
Yeah, amended it so that our rate is, that's good news. Because in our budget, our rate is 307. In our budget, it's 307. That's how we calculate it. So they'll sign the resolution in June, it's 304. So we had a favorable purchasing variance of $5,000 last month. I'm glad you brought that up. So we are going to review our budget. I don't think it makes too much, but it's a pickup this year for $50,000-$60,000.
Well, regardless of whether there's consolidation or not, price of water is gonna get higher,
Right.
a lot higher, and we need to get transparency so our customers understand how high it's gonna get.
To your point, we can make, with the computers, and I have all this stuff in the budget, on the spreadsheet. I can make, a forecast based on what it should be and work backwards. That's how I do in my business. Hey, what coverage do I need? And we know what the break even point, our break even point is very low.
So, Bo,
Thanks for
Yeah.
being a good sport.